Hi everyone, Andrew Bosserman here, and today I'm going to share a counterintuitive but incredibly effective strategy when dealing with the IRS, and that is acknowledging your case's weaknesses before they do. This tactic has helped countless taxpayers achieve better outcomes in audits, appeals, and other IRS interactions, and I've used this personally, so let's dive in. When most people face the IRS, their instinct, which is reasonable, is to hide any mistakes or weaknesses in their case. But what if I told you that bringing up those weaknesses first could actually work in your favor? This strategy comes straight from expert negotiation tactics. In fact, Chris Voss, former FBI hostage negotiator and author of the great book, Never Split the Difference, which I recommend reading if you haven't read that yet, calls this approach an accusation audit. So let me explain how this works and why it's so effective with the IRS. An accusation audit involves identifying and acknowledging negative aspects of your case before the other party can use them against you. This technique disarms your opponent and builds credibility. So here's how to apply this to IRS situations. First, list every possible negative accusation the IRS might make against you, or it could be simple as negative facts. For example, if you're seeking abatement of late filing penalties, anticipate questions like, didn't you know about your filing responsibilities? Why didn't you confirm your CPA electronically filed your return? Or how is your oversight reasonable under the circumstances? So this approach works for three key reasons. First, it disarms the opposition. When you acknowledge weaknesses up front, you take away the IRS's agents' ammunition. They can't use these points against you if you've already addressed them and framed them in a way that helps your case. Number two, it builds credibility. By being forthcoming, you demonstrate honesty and transparency. The IRS agent or employee you're working with is more likely to trust your other statements if you're being honest and straightforward. And number three, this helps you frame the narrative in the way that best helps you. So it gives you control however these weaknesses are presented and explained, and you can frame them in a way that helps your case and you can explain away the issues. So let me share a real case that demonstrates how powerful this approach can be. I had a client who was having an issue getting an amended return process to claim a net operating loss that was a couple $100,000. They were supposed to receive that refund. But their situation had several complications. Their CPA initially filed the amended return incorrectly. A corrected amended return was later filed, but it was never processed due to COVID disruptions. I called the IRS and they recommended resubmitting with proof of original filing. But during my review, I discovered the amended returns had been sent to the wrong IRS address. And this was a bad fact because under the timely mailing rules, an envelope must be addressed properly in order for it to be considered timely mailed. So technically, the IRS could have argued that the amended return wasn't submitted timely. But now here's where the accusation audit technique came in. When filing a formal protest, I openly acknowledged the CPA's mistakes in sending the return to the incorrect address. Instead of hiding the weakness, I could have not brought it up. I addressed it directly, arguing that the taxpayers shouldn't be penalized for the CPA's error and that the IRS had already processed the original amended returns despite the address error. So the first prior return was processed, even though it was mailed to the wrong address. So the result, after a few months, my client received their full refund check, totaling hundreds of thousands of dollars without needing additional meetings or arguments or a formal meeting with appeals. So this was a great outcome and one that my clients loved. So here's how you can use this technique in your own IRS interactions. First, make a list of every weakness in your case. And then for each of those weaknesses, provide clear contextual explanations for each weakness. Early in your communications, you're going to want to present these weaknesses, but when you present them, you also want to follow each admission with appropriate context and explanation that supports your case and whatever you're claiming or whatever outcome you're hoping to get from the IRS. So remember, in this instance, acknowledging weaknesses isn't about admitting defeat. It's about strategically disarming the opposition and building credibility. This approach might feel uncomfortable at first, but it's proven effective in negotiations of all kinds, including with the IRS. So if you're currently dealing with an IRS issue, consider how this technique might help your case. And if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe for more practical tax strategies. So have you ever tried acknowledging weaknesses in a negotiation? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want more strategies for dealing with the IRS, subscribe to my channel. And if I can ever help in any way, feel free to reach out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.